Hi everyone, and welcome to this Patchnotes rundown video of patch 9.03. Well, today, surprisingly, we have a very interesting, very well-filled patch, and there's a lot of stuff going on, not only balance-wise, but other stuff as well that I want to talk with you about. And yeah, one thing in front, I really like the patch, it's really cool. So let's just get started. First of all, there's the April's Nova Cup, where you can take place. Once again, just check out the Nova Cup link here in blue and you will see all further details. Any elo can take part, you just need a partner, and there's a lot of fun to play. So go check it out, fill the leagues, and enjoy some competitive Legion. We have another community website, legionlord.com, where you can see very nice stats about pick rate, win rate of the units you're playing and openings and so on. So go check that site out as well. One thing I really never thought is gonna happen is the creator boost. And most of you might know it as creator codes or out of other games. For example, I think Fortnite is like the prime example that made creator codes somewhat a thing, which is the creator boosts you can see here and now. Any content creator, for example myself, is able to get themselves a code, and whenever you buy premium essence with money, they get a share of 10% in dollars. So a very nice thing to support the creators. As you can see here, if you have no creator code, the full purchase will go towards the dev team, which is definitely a good thing to do as well. I will have such a creator code for sure. I think it will be Creatorcode Bonny. I will show it down there right now real quick. And as the patch is live, gonna be next week, I think you can support me with this, which I will be very thankful for. Obviously, supporting devs is a great thing as well. If you're a content creator and try to get one, go check out the nexus.gg link for more information about this. For all the collectors out there, we now have another change to cards. Maybe you saw it in the last patch notes. You're now more frequently changing the shop, so it is more likely for you to get all the missing pieces. But now on top there's card fragments, and what you get is every time you get a card, you also get some card fragments. Those fragments will help you to unlock a specific card you choose, so there's no more luck involved in getting them. You see here the prices, 20 shards for an uncommon card and so on, up until 100 for a secret card. So if you're missing this one card, if you want this one card, just collect some shards and you can get or some fragments and you will be able to get and unlock your specific card. On top of this, if you did not get a secret card in a shop 10 times in a row, you're gonna get another 10 card fragments for free. I mean, the chance is quite high to hit this because the chance of getting a secret card is 1 in 24. So it's quite likely to hit that. It has some nice card fragments and it is a 50% uncommon card you get for free, so nice one on that. Next on, perfectly fitting the creator codes, we have new skins, right? New content you can buy. We have the pandemic packet, looking really cool, I have to say. Like, that one is looking really cool, and here you see the treasure hunt symbol. And what I even like more is the Infernal Oathbreaker. Sadly, Oathbreaker is not the unit I'm playing too much lately, but this here looks really cool. So definitely gonna check out those. It has a special animation when enraged, as you can see down here in the corner. Go check out the skins in-game. Just come by my streams, I own all the skins, so you will be able to have a look at how they look in-game if you want to. On top, there's a new secret card, a Nyan Boa. Well, fine, another secret card. I mean, it looks fun. I really think it looks funny. One thing, the last thing for the collectors this patch is now the cards and trophies. They look a lot nicer. I mean, look at this. This looks a lot nicer. For collectors, now you see the Legion here, how many cards you have, and so on. So it looks really awesome. I'm looking forward. It looks like, I don't know if that's a thing in other nations as well, but as a kid, you always had those football paninis, or from any other sports event or whatever. It looks a little bit like those albums. jumping into the improvement and fixes. First of all, essence gain is now multiplicative instead of additive, which is great for everyone who already contributed a lot. On top, there's some more improvements and major fixes and stuff like this. We never talk about those in the patch notes rundown. So if you're interested in those, check out the first link in the description where the patch notes are. Now coming to game balance. And we already had quite a bit happen, right? We had the creator codes, we had some collection stuff, we had new skins, we had new secret cards, but now the game balance, that's actually nuts. Okay, because it's somewhat changing up the meta, how the game will be. I'm really looking forward to test it. I don't really know yet how it's going to be, but I really look forward to test it because it's just, it should be fresh, okay? So, what's happening now? Mythium gather rate increased by 8% every wave after wave 10. This is an additive value, by the way, just for you to know already. This also applies to workers you trained previously. Removed double workers on 16 plus. What's going to happen now is the following. Up until wave 10, each of those workers is generating 1 mythium in 10 seconds. But now this value is increased by 8%. Each wave additive. So let's say you have 10 workers, okay? In 10 seconds, they produce 10 mythium. That's quite obvious, right? Now, in wave 11, you still have those 10 workers, but now they do not only produce 10, but they produce 8% more. Let's just round it real quick. They produce now 11 mythium per second. And so on. In 12, they would produce 12 mythium. And scaling. So that's a very nice change. And what's going to happen is the mid game is going to be a lot more rough because obviously, let's say wave 13, you somehow already have 24% more mythium production just out of nowhere, even though you did not push more workers than you would have done previously, which is already insane. So you will have a lot more spice towards the mid game. And even after 15, the waves are a lot more critical because depending on how many workers you had before, those double workers might usually double your workers in most cases. But since there's a lot of starving going on right now, those workers you trained before just matter so much that this might actually have an impact. I can also see the downsides of it. For example, there's just going to be an overall of more income in the pool and the games are still going to be overbuilt and starved because more income, more value, and then you hold bigger cents in reverse and stuff like this. But I'm ready to try it out. I was skeptical about this change at first. I still am, but I'm really looking forward to test it actually. Not like other drastic changes to the game. I'm really looking forward. I think mid game is going to be a lot of fun now. I think it might be very strong and might be adjusted a bit like to 5 or 6% every wave. I can't say yet. But I'm really looking forward. You will have changes in the mastermind options. For example, cartel seems to be very nice because the thing about cartel is you likely won't have a income lead at the end of wave 10, but you are trying to get this worker lead. And now we can see the workers are going to be a lot more important than, for example, income to just scale better, to just have a better mid and late game. I'm really looking forward for this change, and I think this could mix up the gameplay by quite a bit. Next one we have the king. Health on 18 is decreased by 5% because there's going to be some changes to wave 18, which is fine. We will have a look at this in a second. We have some changes to Fiesta. Now you're not rewarded by income anymore, but by a gold amount. 13 to 48 gold. Wave 1 league gives you 13 gold. A wave 2 league gives you, I think, 14 or 15 gold, and scaling. This is something that gives Fiesta a little bit more of gold in the early game, usually, because you try to, like, at the very first 3 waves, you try to league like 2 creeps, but obviously a lot less gold in later waves. I think overall this is a bad change for Fiesta. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really don't like Fiesta and ranked anyway, but I think this will only reward you to league like the first 4 waves maybe. After this you're usually going to lose more gold than you would gain. You see it here, it is meant to have Fiesta league in the first 3 waves, which could really help you push this 1 or 2 extra workers, and from then on you just have to scale with those in income. So let's have a look. I still don't like the SN rank games. It's just too much RNG. It's a bit too much troll for me. But yeah, let's have a look at those. Next on battle scars, just a small change. It now no longer targets gates, which is perfect because gates take percentual damage, so that didn't matter whether they got the 400 extra HP or not. Only the 3% attack damage, attack speed mattered. If you get the 400 HP on another unit, it usually is better. So great that this change happened. Magician is a spell I never know about. I mean, there's gonna be this time, because it's getting buffed and buffed and buffed at the moment, and there's gonna be the time where somebody discovers, okay, Magician with, let's say, Pegasus is broken, which might already be the case. And then everybody's spamming it and it's getting nerfed again, right? That's usually what happens. But at the moment, it seems the pick rate and win rate are low. Win rate even very low. I don't know what the gap for very low and low is, but I would assume it's like 46%, maybe even lower. So yeah, I really do like the change, because at the moment it just does not feel rewarding. You usually just take the Star Caller. Alright, next on a spell that is very strong, especially on 20. Pulverizer can just win you the game if you have it on a melee unit that is attacking with some speed. It's insane. I mean, the Pulverizer stun on 20 can really win you the game if the boss is not able to do any attack. That can be really crazy. So yeah, I really do like the Pulverizer changes, especially like Doppelgangers and Avengers were hardcore with it. Coming to the fighters. And I think with the fighters, we're still in a spot where at the moment, early game doesn't matter that much. But since we will have now those workers that are getting changed after 10, early game will hopefully receive some buffs on top to really have those hardcore, faster games now. Let's see. I mean, I obviously saw the patch notes already, but let's have a look. First of all, we have Proton and Atom attack speed getting buffed. I think we had some buffs last patch as well. Personally, I still feel like in the first 4 waves, let's say, they're still a very nice unit. After that, they just do not scale too well. Next on Bazooka and Pyro, probably the worst unit at the moment, or one of the worst units at the moment. I probably have to adjust my tier list according to this. I think Pyro and Bazooka, even the Zeus aren't great at the moment, so like to see some buffs. Here it's great, not only the DPS is going up, but especially the attack damage is going up, and therefore the attack speed is going down, which is reducing the hard count to Mole. This is perfect. The Mole's just way too strong against the Pyro at the moment. I think I'm talking a lot about Pyro and Mole getting countered in the early game already, where they should be strong, because it is so easy to get a Mole and a Hermit on specific waves that it's just great. You see this buff to the Pyro here. Next on a change, we see it here. Our goal is to see Harpies as on early waves, including as part of openings. I think I'm preaching this since a long time, that the Sky Queen should 2-shot wave 3 again to make it a viable opener. It still didn't happen. I mean, they're getting buffed and buffed and buffed, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna get buffed once more. Look at this, win rate very low, pick rate very low. I do not know anyone picking them. I mean, I have played like 4 games this season, and all 4 were more like, oh shit, this is likely gonna be a loss because I have to play Sky Queens and I have really no other choice. If it would just 2-shot wave 3, I'm gonna insta-pick it on as an opener again, because I think with the current attack speed and 2-shotting wave 3, this is actually gonna be a good unit again. Really looking forward to see this change happening. Likely gonna be just another attack speed buff next patch. So this is like the biggest downside of the patch. Up until this, I really liked all changes. Next on, Sea Dragon and Lifebinder, they're a bit too strong at the moment. Getting a 10% mana regeneration nerf. This is fine. I think if you are used to play with them, if you are able to like really play them efficiently, they're still gonna be very strong for you. Next on Tempest and Leviathan, they get some HP buffs, which is needed in my eyes. The problem with them is that Leviathan has a lot of targets to buff, right? We have the Atoms, we have Mask, we have Halo, we have Windhawk, we have the Tempest itself, obviously, a Phoenix, and a lot of those units are strong early on and in the mid game, which is going to be a buff already for Leviathan. The problem always was that the HP was just not that great, so it usually died quite fast in the early games. On wave 10, for example, it was rough to just see the Leviathans melt, even though their attack damage or the overall damage output of them should be quite nice. So I'm really liking the HP buffs on the Tempest, great for openness, and the attack speed for Leviathans. Looking really good. Next on, some nerfs to Yosora and Actaya. I think those are especially too strong in the late game, even though it says a strong opening. I think almost nobody in high elo plays it as an opening. It is more like a strong opening in lower elos because it's like very safe the first 4 waves, and then you have this 1 weak wave on 5 where you just have to get the right unit. But usually you can go for something like Yosara Ranger and just hold wave 3 and 4 because you will get those income sends on those in high elos unless somebody's like really tryharding on you. This is something I do not understand as an opener, but in the late game, the passive is just insane. Next on, Disciple, mana regeneration increased by 5%. I really like this change. It always feels early on in the game that it's not that strong. Like the damage output is great, but it could be a bit better compared to other units. So I really do like the Disciple change, and we said it before, right? We had Starcaller just being way better than the Magician, and we have mana regeneration decreased by 5% on the Starcaller because it is just such a strong unit with so many combos. So yeah, I really do like the changes here as well. LODs, I never know about those. Like, you always feel like, okay, they're great on a certain wave. And then sometimes I just hold with LODs and be hardcore undervalue, and I don't understand why. And sometimes I just don't hold with Hades, where I'm hardcore overvalue and I don't know why. Those units are a mystery for me sometimes. So I can't comment too much on it. I am still not the biggest fan of them. I don't even know why. I think just there's too many better units. For example, a Phoenix can just be a lot more clutch if positioned correctly. But it felt like often the Drake didn't go out when it should have gone out. So reducing the mana cost is just the perfect change for that reasoning. Wow. One unit I hate from the bottom of my heart, and I actually did hate since it came out because it is so stupid, is Holy Avenger. And finally, we have some more nerfs to it. Health nerf, attack speed nerf. Why is Avenger that stupid? Especially with Butcher. Avenger, Butcher, and the early game is just unleakable. I tried it myself. You're going for that, okay, I'm gonna go this 1 till 5 starve, send imps and add, and there's still nothing happening. Like, Avenger still clearing, holding the teammates league as well down at the king, and from then on it's just a gamble whether he's gonna build on 7 and you try to get him, or if you could have gotten him on 8 or whatever. Avenger, especially with Butcher, should be nerfed even more. It got a bit better with the recent changes that it doesn't get reduction anymore, but HP, but it's still a bit too broken in my eyes, so I really love those changes. Okay, finally we are reaching the waves now. We had already this worker thing, right? And this worker thing is like this main thing that is gonna change the impact of the game. Overall, this patch is probably the patch that did not only try to address shortening the games, but that actually might have the best impact to do so, because we do not only have this worker change, but we also have this change on late game waves, where usually the double workers would hit. First of all, we have 15. What's going to happen is the damage is going down for the boss, and we also have the attack speed going up. This is a lot better now to prevent small unit spam, tier 1 spam, which is quite efficient on waves like 15, 18, 19. And all those 3 waves are now going to get buffed according to prevent this spam to be the best solution in most games. So 15, what's going to happen? Attack damage down, attack speed up, DPS is still the same. So you just have faster killing of those creeps. So this is the wave that is still the most efficient to spam small units. But now 18 and 19 are a lot more drastical. First of all, on 18, every third attack did a 300 magic damage. Every fourth attack, I'm sorry. Now there is 100 damage, area of effect magic. 100 magic damage, I can't even say it right, every fourth attack. So instead of dealing to one unit 300 damage, you now have a 100 damage area of effect hit, which also prevents the tier 1s, because most tier 1 units would die out of of those AoE attacks. I think this is a great change. I can't say yet, I didn't test it sadly, how large the area of effect is, but overall I think this is a very nice change, and it also does mix up a bit how each of those waves are going to address this problem. So we have on 15, we have the attack speed increase. On 18, we have a little bit of AoE. And now coming to 19 is, instead of a single shot, you now have the ability split shot. Attacks up to 3 targets per attack can still hit the same target multiple times. I think this is quite familiar for you. It is basically a Trinity Archer, Elite Archer ability on wave 19, and this is the third try to prevent small unit spam, and which is great. I think the DPS overall is going down a bit, damage overall is going up a bit, and the attack speed is reduced massively. So this might change the usage of shamans on wave 19, and overall I think 19 is now a lot weaker against the king due to this, because they do not just pump those attacks on the king anymore, but the king has more time to react. So looking forward to see those changes as well. I really look forward to just see those overall changes in play. The patch is going to be short before the Nova Cup, so we will have a lot of chances to see high elo players play there. I'm really looking forward. And last but not least, we have some changes to 20, because 20 is the ultra raid boss wave, and I do not only hope that this is going to help to hold 20 with the build that is not having 1 out of 3 or 4 units you need to hold 20 and a lot of value, but that we also see a lot more games end earlier than 18, 19, 20, 21, but rather have some more games end on 13, 14 would be just refreshing for the meta. Okay, what's happening on 20? We have the reduction on HP by 10,000, which is insane, and the only buff is Devour. Now gets 150 from 150 to 300 HP, which means each time the boss is killing a unit, it regenerates 300 HP. And this is especially, once again, each of the smaller units, gates for example, gates are not the smallest units, but all smaller units that get killed heal the boss once again, so you do not spam those. I don't know what to say. The patch is solid. The patch is good. I think there's going to be a lot of spicy things in the patch. We have a lot of stuff going on in the late game waves, especially the main balance changes are fine. I think there could be some more. For example, Ocean Templar Gates should be nerfed a bit more. Sky Queen is probably still not changed perfectly. I think you could buff Zeus a little bit here as well. But apart from this, there's a lot of nice changes, a lot of changes I can see. And I really do like here. Battle Scars is such a nice change, because this was really just a bit hard. You usually, or what I always did, is then upgrade another unit that had more HP than the gates if possible. For example, Doomsday or a Banana Haven did fill that slot, and then they get all the stacks, but it is obviously not the perfect solution in some cases. And so on. I really like the workers, because I'm just unsure how they're gonna happen, and I don't want to do a prediction, because I can see every scenario in place. It could just be that the same meta is gonna establish because you just have more income overall. It could happen that the games are gonna end so much earlier. It could happen that we now have games end pre-12. I don't know. I'm looking forward to see that. And then obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in the collection, and for content creators like myself. Once again, if you want to support me, try code Bonny as soon as the patch is live. From that, I hope you enjoyed the rundown. I hope you will enjoy the patch. Leave me your opinion in the comments down below. Have a good day. Bye bye.